Hey baby, again, just something for you to listen to on your drive home back to Austin. Be safe. And also, I noticed when I listened to the recording I did, I gave some bad information. And since it looks like a couple of people have watched it, I corrected the mistake in the writing belowhand. I just got a couple of projects mistaken on dates. And I wanted to make sure that if there is anybody that's listening to me, well, first of all, God help you. But I also want to make sure that I'm giving good information. Look, man, I'm just a dude in his mid-50s in my sweats, watching Zepparella, female Zeppelin cover band. Pretty good, actually. And doing some crypto, and wanted to have a talk again mainly about what we look at for what I look at, what Tyler mentioned on his, let me turn this down, what Tyler mentioned on his video today is not something that is in my arsenal. So I guess I need a little more clarification on what he was talking about. I'm gonna look into it. But also I just wanna, well, like I said, I wanna correct what I said yesterday when I got a couple of projects mixed up on dates. But also show you again what I look at when I evaluate whether it's a project that I'm interested in doing or not. So anyway, first of all, I don't have an editor, so I apologize for any shaky hands. I'm a guy talking into his phone. And also, before you take any advice from me, also know that I'm also the same guy that has to wait to do whatever it is I want to do next, because I have to keep tapping the screen to make sure it doesn't turn off, because I'm not sure if YouTube keeps loading, first of all. And second of all, I can't figure out how to make it stop going to sleep at that time. So again, before you listen to any advice from me, keep those things in mind. But again, I don't have an editor, so if I happen to drop the phone, well, hey, I dropped the fucking phone, sorry. All right, so back to what we started talking about yesterday and what I look for in a project. There's a couple of things. Number one, most importantly, was there a pre-sale? And you can find this shit in the white paper, or if they have one, or on their website. Now, again, make sure you understand something here. We're not talking something you're looking to hold to the end of days. Basically, this is very much like selling that gas station up the street around the corner from you that's been under 6 different ownerships in the last 12 years. One of the things that they look at is, all right, well, hey, let me see the records of business. Let me see reported income. If you're selling a vacation property like we used to down in Destin, Florida, okay, what's the rental income for the year? Because that is something you want to take a look at. Now again, these are, the only reason that people are buying these particular coins, for the most part, let's be honest, is because they're looking at it as a money-making machine. They don't care what it does, unless maybe it's scientifically proven that you'll get ass cancer unless you own this particular coin. The only reason that people are buying these particular projects is they're looking at it as a revenue generator. And if you remember yesterday, I said, hey, when we talk about the key word in those two acronyms is fear of missing out, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and the human emotional behavior. That's a little bit closer to where I live. If I want to know something about a particular project or something like that, I listen to Tyler, I listen to all the regulars, all the good folks, not on what to buy, not this, not that, but how does it work? And typically, if it confuses the fuck out of me, I buy it. But again, those are the long-term holds. We're talking about a very small portion. of your portfolio. Now, I gotta tell you this, so I can tell you the rest. How did I fund it? Did I just throw one more lump of fiat into the game? No, I did not. I did what they tell you not to do. I looked at my portfolio and the shit that was at the bottom, I looked at it, it was whatever percent down, but also it's got a market value of this. All right. This one's down. How much is it worth? All right. So collectively it's worth this much. I know it ain't a loss until you sell, but guess what? In my books, that particular chapter is a loss, and that's okay because it's like in Survivor or in life, you got to make those big moves sometime. And, you know, there's some folks that got in on the same day that I did, and they're hodling or hodling, however you pronounce it, and they hear what I just said, and oh my God, cardinal fucking sin. You never sell at a loss. I did, but I made more money. I looked at it, and again, it was not a knee-jerk reaction. It was over like 10 days, and then I thought about it, I thought about it, I thought about it, I thought about it, I thought about it. And I could wait for some of these positions that I had to 8x from where they were, or I could get onto a new train that is in the first couple of chapters and ride that a little further down the road, because I had no illusions of this market turning around anytime soon. And so yesterday's dump didn't surprise me. I'm not happy, I'm not sad about it. You know, it is what it is. I don't have any control over it. So I don't spend any energy worrying about it. You know, all I've been doing for the last week is buying Bitcoin at whatever price it is. Been buying Elastos at whatever price it is, strictly with Masternode rewards. So again, I don't care what the market does. It drops, cool, I get more beer for me. All right, so anyway, was there a pre-sale? And if there was a pre-sale, has it already had its dump? Because it may not have had its dump yet, but guess what? It's going to have its dump. We'll just pick one here at random. Oh, okay, well that one's only been around one day. Kaboom. You know why? Because the people who got the pre-sale, they dumped. So let's find a different one. Like I said, if it hadn't had its dump yet, it's gonna. So look, here's one. Now, would you rather be this guy or this guy? So if it did have a pre-sale and it hadn't dumped yet, even if you think it's the coolest thing ever, put your hands in your pocket. Don't make that trade yet. I mean, worst case scenario, the whole fucking market's going down now. So it's going to go down eventually, right? Again, unless scientifically proven that you won't get ass cancer unless you own this coin. Put your hands in your pockets and wait for it to drop, because it's gonna. It's gonna. Okay? Now, like I said, when we start dealing with human emotions, that's kind of more in my ballpark, and I want to let you know, I'm no pumper and dumper. Again, this is my third video ever. I'm a professional people watcher, and I have been for over 20 years in sales. And I've gotten pretty good at figuring out what people are going to do and why they're going to do it. So what I'm sharing with you now, I mean, you can write it down, you can watch it and see what happens. And if I was right, you can come back and say, hey, you know what, you were right. Or if I was completely wrong, you can come back and say, hey, you fuckhead, you were wrong. Okay, that's cool. I'm not giving advice here. Again, I'm sitting in my sweats in my garage. I'm just telling you what I did and why. All right, so has it had its dump yet? We talked in yesterday's video about the reward schedule. You need to know what the reward schedule is. We'll talk about that in 1 second. But one thing I forgot to mention yesterday, what's the collateral? Number one, how much do you have to start a Masternode? Does that increase incrementally? If it's the same forever, or it increases and previous node holders are grandfathered in. All they're going to do is a cash grab, and one day your fucking collateral is 10,000, and the next day it's 20,000. Number one, you're getting nickel and dime. You walked into the dollar store and everything is priced at $10. Stay away from those. Just stay away from them. You don't need to do a Masternode that badly. Stay the fuck away from them if it's got it in there. And there's a lot of them. So you want to dig into the white paper, or if they have one, or you want to go to their page and look at that. So anyway, is there a collateral increase? So anyway, we talked yesterday about block rewards. Now I also talked about 2 projects. So let me correct the one that I did yesterday, which is this one, which is this Moneybox. Now, listen, hey, when you go to their website, the first fucking things that you see are how to buy it, where you can get it. Guess what? They're not ashamed of who they are. Again, they're a business. We serve no function except, or a lot of these, when you look through them, their whole purpose is, hey, we're a Masternode coin. Yeah, but what do you do? Hey, we're a Masternode coin. What do you mean, what do we do? No, seriously, like in the long scheme of things, what the fuck do you do? I'm like, dude, I told you twice. We're a Masternode coin. You can build Masternodes on a coin. All right, so probably staying away from those, right? I am, and I don't care what the ROI looks like, unless it was $3 and there's $150,000 in volume that day. All right. So anyway, let me show you what I look at when I go into them. All right. So here's this Moneybox one that we talked about yesterday. Now the mistake I gave was the date. I said Christmas, so I said about a month or two, and I misspoke because I was talking about another project. But here we are. This is Moneybox. Right now, or at least when I wrote this on the board, we were in block 4096 and all the way to block 50,000. The rewards are 90 a pop, and you're supposed to get them every 3.5 hours, so roughly 8 times a day. So some days you'll get 7, some days you'll get 9, some days you'll get 6, and the next day you'll get 13. It's weird, and that's okay. That's normal. It's when you're supposed to be getting you're supposed to be getting 10, 12 a day, and you're only getting 3 a day, and that goes on for a longer period of time. All right, so that's like the friend that you already caught in one lie. If you don't kick him out of the group, you don't hang around him as much, right? Or at least you know what to say. Now, so right now, the rewards on the Moneybox, yesterday they switched. Right now, they're 90 a pop. Now, we are showing up a little late to the party. We didn't get it previously when it was 75. We didn't get it previously when it was 50. But we got in when it was 75 for like a day. And then overnight it switched to 90. And then that is through by adding, subtracting 40,096 from 50,000. And just so you know that I'm not making this shit up, and you can ask Siri, and Siri will tell you. Okay, hey Siri, how far is it? What's the day going to be in this many minutes? And they'll tell you. All right, so now you got this on your calendar. You know what's what. And then the next block where you go to 75, it's that's what I figure out. 7 days, 6.94 days. And that's at 75. And then the next one's at 60,000 through 70,000. And then it goes back down to 50, and then it continues to go all the way down. And that projected date is another week later, so the 6th of December. All right. So what's going to happen when I say you got to watch other people, learn what people are doing? I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing since I started watching this. There's people that come over to this page and the purchase decisions that they make are strictly based on this ROI, where are you? On this ROI column. They're stupid. They don't really understand how the whole fucking thing works. They see something making 4,000% and they're like, take my money. Now during a bear market, it's even worse because people are trying to make up for what they feel they're down, right? So, I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I look around the internet and I know I ain't the dumbest guy, so it ain't hard to figure out what these people are going to do. They're going to see that really high ROI, and that ROI is going up, in this case, not necessarily because the price did, but because the rewards just did. And they don't know the backstory. So now they come running in, and when they come running in, what do? They drive up the price. Now, we'll talk about this a little bit later. How do they drive up the price? They come here and they buy up the fucking order book. Now, I did this once, but only because you needed, I think, 10,000. And we got in so early on the project after Tyler's sponsored review, there was only 10,000. I'm sorry, you needed 10,000. It was only like 12,000 on the market, or you needed 5,000. It was only 8,000. There was only a few more on the market you needed. And I went, all right, well, fuck it. Let's say that I want to, and I'm not looking, but let's say this is where I needed to go. All right. So is this smart sometime? Most of the time not. But you come up here now and you say, all right, well, how much is that going to cost me? And then you see what the cost is. Whoops. You see what the cost is, you see how many you get, you divide, that's your average cost. If you can swallow that, fine. I don't suggest it. Don't be this guy. Don't be this guy. For your well-being, don't be this guy that buys up the book. Because when you see all those long spikes in Bitcoin, guess what? You are that guy here, and you're going to just end up paying more. Now, do the people that come running in, again, this fast food mentality, do they come in and that's how they do it? Fuck yeah. That's how they do it. So when you go to sell on the other end of this equation, let me say this now because I always say I'll talk about that later. I always forget. How you want to buy, how you want to sell, but especially how you want to sell. Don't fucking come over here and slam down on here. I got 1,300 in my pocket here, and sell it down because you're going to take it from 6,500 all the way down to 6,219. Don't fucking do that. Number one, especially if there's a couple of us in the same project, you just fucked your buddy. But number two, you just kind of fucked yourself because you got less for that last one you sold than you should have. So when you get ready to sell, if you got 1,200 in your pocket, put 300 here. In between those numbers, put 300 here, put 300 here, and when somebody comes in and buys, when these fucking idiots that do come in and buy up the order book, because nobody went really heavy here, they had to buy deep into the order book, and they did, and that's when you see those huge spikes. So when you go to sell, when you take your shit to market, unless you need the money right fucking now, your cat needs a kidney replacement. All right, go ahead. Fuck yourself. Fuck your buddies. Save your cat. Or when you get ready to sell, pepper them in. Don't just slam it down on the market. It's just stupid. Number one, it's not good business. So anyway, come back up to Moneybox. Like I said, so for right now, it's at the current price, it's 221. Do I think that's going to go up? 221 a week. The Masternode right now is 320. So in 2 weeks, you're even. Now, rule number one, when you go into one of these things, assume that they're all pump and dumps. Fuck that. Assume they're pump and dumps. Don't trust these people any farther you can throw them. It may be those guys used to be on the Visa commercial. Hey, this is Peggy that are doing the project. So don't put too much trust in these people. So the first thing you do when you decide that you're going into one of these projects, after you got it all set up, you figure out how much you paid total for them, and then either keep a running tab on a piece of notebook paper, or open up Excel and create your worksheet. But when you don't start worrying about your second masternode and your third masternode and your fourth masternode, especially for these ones that are supposed to break even in X amount of days or 10 days or something, get your fucking money out. And if some of these people, like I said, start come running to these projects and it drives the price up, well, then you got to sell less to get your money out. Get your money out, and then you can decide whether you're going to use those, okay, I earn this many a day, I need this many to build a second masternode. Now that it's basically free, less the hosting fees, now that it's basically free, how much am I comfortable making over here without it sitting doing anything? All right, well, if you got one or you got two, it depends on the time schedule. This one here that maxes out, that hits its, the end of its pinnacle on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know how many days it is before you build a new one, but I get my money out and then I'll worry about that. Now another one that I got into, somebody that I chat with from the Chico Army had been telling me about this one for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it was during a stretch where I was doing a lot of work, and I procrastinated and it ended up costing me a little bit more, but this one's kind of cool. Now it's called Umbra. Now again, I did the research on it. So right now, at least when I wrote this on the whiteboard, we were at block 19204. So from now till block 45,000, the reward just went up to 18.7 per day. And that's supposed to happen every hour and a half, so approximately 12 times a day, all the way through December 3rd. Huh. And then after that, from 45,000 block all the way for 80,000 blocks, which is basically 2 months, it goes down, but it only goes to 15.3. Now that's a long frickin' time. That's 2 months. That's middle of January. And what's it doing right at today's price? It's doing $52 a week. And this morning you could buy a Masternode for $73. Now one up there I was telling you about, that Moneybox, that's pretty, that's risky. If you're looking for something that's a little cheaper, or you're looking for something that's a little less risk, I think you could do worse than this one on Umbra. Now, hey, long term it's kind of cool actually, because I guess they're a builder of decentralized exchanges. So Tyler, if you know some coding guys, I'm telling you the coin that we ought to turn Huli coin into, and that's a Masternode hosting center / exchange. All one-stop shop. How you do it, I don't know. I'm not that guy, but if you know some programmers, how many people would, as lazy as we fucking are, how many people would do that just so they didn't have to do all the transferring? I bet you more than a few. But anyway, both of these, because the rewards give back just increased, again, that ROI is going to pop up, and the price is basically the same, but the ROI is going to pop up because the Masternode rewards just popped up, and there's going to be a lot of people that come running into this project because they're strictly shopping with that ROI column. And then the other thing is both of these projects right now are not on Gen. They're not on Gentarium. They're not on fill in the blank Masternode hosting service. Now, one of the projects that we're in, people ask me, what are you in right now? Well, I'm in a little bit less because I cashed out some, but we're in 3 of the dark Coin Pay. One of those was free. We're in one of the BitHost. We were at 2, but long story short, and I may kick myself in the ass for that later, but I had an issue and it took over 24 hours, and again, maybe I got an itchy trigger finger, but I figured better safe than sorry. I made money on it, but sold one just because. And then it turns out the guys finally respond, and they're all nice, and they walk me through how to do it and everything, and you know what? Fuck me. I probably screwed up there, but hey, it's all right. Now, that research I was telling you that I did down here, this ain't rocket science, man. You look at the blocks, you see where we're at, you ask Siri how far out that is, you figure out, you plot it on the calendar. Now, this is the most basic of strategies. I also kind of come back to, where is it? Because when that becomes available on Gen, and kind of like when a coin goes to Binance, so when one of these Masternode coins goes to an easier platform to use, I think that price is going to increase because I think there's going to be people jumping in. Moneybox, my daughter and I split one of those, and then I bought that Umbra one today. Now, good news, bad news. Bad news first. Bad news is you can't buy this. You can buy Umbra on the market. You can't build on Gen or Gentarium. So yesterday when I put the video up, I said I took a double gamble, and I'll share with you later whether it worked or whether it not. So that's this far, 24 hours into it, it's worked. It's worked well, and as a matter of fact, I did that Umbra one on it as well. Now, the name of the site is. Now, this is not me pimping them. This is just what worked well for me. I got my rewards when I woke up this morning. They were in my account. Oh, there's some rewards right there. P2P-coins.pro. Now, what you do is you go in and you set up an account. You go in and you set up a wallet. Now, another one of the steps that I didn't put on here that I do when I'm vetting these guys, if this is a project that I'm going to do or not, one of the things that I, before I buy one of the coins, I download the wallet. That sounds duh, Scott. I tell you what, though, there's a lot of them out there where the wallet doesn't work. Now, I understand that people make mistakes. This happens, that happens. I understand. But you know what? First impressions are mighty hard to get over. And you're a computer company and you can't get the fucking wallet right? How does that bode for the rest of the project? To me, again, that's right out of the block. Say, hey, next. That's me. Now, if you say, no, Scott, you got to understand. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. But you know what? The first thing I'm going to do before I ever look at that project again is try to download the wallet. And if it doesn't, fuck them. That's strike 2 and 3 next. That's the way I look at it. But again, that's me. So anyway, you go in, you create an account. You go into the settings and you tell it, this is my reward address. You got that from the wallet you just set up. Now, here's the other bad. I mean, the good news is you get the Masternode rewards. They do it once every 12 hours. I think it's every 12 hours. So it's not like, hey, if the price spikes, if you ain't within that 12 hours, and if the price comes back down, well, then you just miss that one. It's all right. There'll be another one. It'll happen. So the only thing that's in your wallet are the rewards. So that part's cool. But what happens? Let's say that there's some really bad piece of news that comes out that, in fact, owning this coin will give you ass cancer, and everybody goes to sell. Well, you come over here and you'll hit this button right there, and then you'll get your coins back in X amount of days. I want to say it's, they say 10 to 14. Basically, they gotta find somebody to take your seat on the bus before they'll let you out of that Masternode. So if you got X amount of coins in that particular shared node, once they get somebody that says, I'll put in X amount of coins, then you're out, then you sublet your spot and you're out, and then you can move it onto the market. When it's in your wallet, it ain't hard. If you need to liquidate, you go into the Masternode platform, you delete them, you come back to the wallet, you delete those lines of whatever that you pasted into the Masternode configurator, save it, close the wallet, open it back up, and move that shit to the market and sell it if you need to or want to. If the price just went double or triple, you know what? Maybe you sell that. Maybe, you know what, hey, I just doubled and tripled my money and take my money and you move on to the next project. Maybe so, again. Now, if this was ETH or Bitcoin, you're going to want to save it, but there ain't no award they give for being the X coin #1 holder of Masternodes, because the name of the game is to not get more Umbra or to not get more Moneybox. That's not the name of the game. What's the name of the game? Name of the game is to get more Bitcoin. So you ain't selling X token today. You're not selling whatever Masternode reward coins that you have today. You know what you're doing? You're buying Bitcoin at less than $6,000. How many times have you looked back over the last however many months? Hey, right now it's 5,600. So you're not selling X coin, you're buying Bitcoin at 5,600. Can you sleep better at night thinking that? And again, the only thing you're paying is the initial collateral, which you're going to get all or some of that back when this is all over anyway. And you got X amount of Masternodes that you sold along the way, and with that, you pay your hosting fees, and then you're buying, right now, $5,600 Bitcoin. I can live with that, I think. Anyway, if you got any ideas, man, this is just, again, an old guy in his sweats in his garage talking and having some cherry Coke and smoking his cigarette, and I would appreciate your feedback. And I'm excited to look forward to Tyler's video and what he looks for, because I think if we throw all this shit into one big bowl and stir it up, that we as a community, if this is something in which you wanted to partake, I think we can come up with a really good recipe. Anyway, take care. Love you, sweetheart. Be safe coming home tonight. Drop me a text when you get home. Seriously, drop me a text when you get home. Don't make me text you and go, are you home yet? All right. Love you. And talk to you other guys later. Bye-bye.